The SEC, the Big Ten, and the Board of Managers for the College Football Playoff might be stuck at an impasse, according to some. I would say between a rock and a hard place, as the Blue Ridge Mountains are serving as a great metaphor for an impediment to what we all think should be an easy decision about expanding the college football playoff. Let's talk about why it has turned into something of a contest where we're trying to get toward the end and get something done. The closer we get to December 1st, the less it looks like that's going to happen. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If that is something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think that we are going to see a 16-team playoff of any kind in 2026? Because it's looking a lot less assured than it did even yesterday. I'm also going to take this opportunity to remind you, we got an Apple podcast and a Spotify podcast, audio podcast, where you can listen to the show without ads 3 days a week, 30, 40-minute chunks if that's what you want. And because I really want this audio podcast to do well, I want you to go to Apple, I want you to go to Spotify, and I want you to leave a 5-star review, comment on Spotify if you got it, on both of these places, and tell people what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show. Share the show. And if you fill out the form in the description below, I will send you one of these stickers just to show you how much it means to me with a personalized thank you note. I've sent a bunch of those out. We're going to do a watch with the OKC Thunder and Indiana Pacers tonight at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, where you can just show up and chill with me, chill with us as we watch the game, and I fill out a whole bunch of addresses so that you guys can get these stickers. I'm going to keep doing this. It's been working in a way that I didn't think it was going to. And if you just want the sticker, just go ahead and fill out the Apple Podcast, Spotify, and then copy and paste that review into your form, and I'll put that in the mail to you. Even note something that you want me to say in the note that I'm going to send you. See what I can't do. Rich Clark came out and he talked to national college football reporters that were able to be in the Blue Ridge Mountains and told them exactly what he thought was going to happen. Nothing yet, right? What we're finding out, and this is even me calling and making phone calls to people that were in the room, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, or as they thought it was going to be, to expand the format from 12 teams to 16 teams. And one of the things that I was told and reminded of, you got to remember how hard it was for us to get to straight seeding. Okay, so we go from what the College Football Playoff Selection Committee gets to do, which is manipulate the rankings into these matchups that actually turned out to be pretty good, all things considered. You get Ohio State versus Tennessee, but did Tennessee think it should be playing Ohio State? You get Penn State versus Boise State, but did Boise State think it should be playing Penn State? You get Southern Methodist versus Penn State, but did Southern Methodist believe it should be playing Penn State? Clemson versus Texas, so forth, so on. So now we're going to go to straight seeding, where it feels like if this had gone differently, Oregon might not get the shaft like it did last year, among other things. So we'll see how this plays out. With the 16-team playoff, it's similar. What you're trying to protect against unintended consequences here. You have your 5+11 model. They're still mulling over the 14-team model, but nobody seems to like that one as much as they like the 5+11, or the NFL style of 16-team playoff, where you got 4 automatic qualifiers like your division champs, and then you have your at-large bids. What we're really talking about is the number of at-large bids. The SEC does not want to do the 5+11 unless they can agree on the strength of schedule inside of conference metric that perhaps gives them a leg up, because they don't want to play an extra conference game, for starters. And if they did, they want to take into account, when you do these rankings, that they're weighted a little bit differently for themselves and or the Big Ten and or the ACC and or the Big 12. It feels like a lot of wizardry for what we're also just asking for, which is the 16 best teams to make the tournament and then let them go play. But because the Big Ten and the SEC have such a large share of the voting rights in this playoff format for the next 6 years, it is slowed down considerably. I think anybody outside of the Big Ten and the SEC wants to see the 5+11 model. That is your 5 highest ranked group conference champions, or four highest ranked Power 4 champions, your highest ranked Group of 6 champion, and an at-large bid for, say, like a Notre Dame can get in there too. Notre Dame benefits from the 5+11 just like they benefited from last year's 12-team playoff model. Nobody's upset about that. I think what people are upset about is the idea that the SEC could get 5 or 6 teams in, or the Big Ten could get 5 or 6 teams in, and also that you don't have to earn it on the field if you know you're an automatic qualifier. What is that going to do is an unintended consequence for the sport. And it's unknowable. So they're doing everything they can to guard against what that might look like right now, as opposed to just go to 16 teams. On the one hand, I get it. Measure twice, cut once. On the other hand, this is not rocket scientists. You don't need Matt Patricia on your sideline to help you figure this one out. It's a risk for the Big Ten and the SEC, no matter how you slice this. But the less risk that they've taken on the table, the less enthusiastic we are about the damn playoff. And that's it. You're playing with emotions of fans here. You're playing with our sense of fairness and our sense of sportsmanship, which is next to cleanliness and godliness, and we hold it in very high esteem. We don't like cheating. We don't like even the appearance of cheating. One of my favorite examples of this is, as a Formula One fan, one of the things that I needed to learn 20 years ago was that the way in which they celebrate wins is wild. So if you got 20 cars on the grid, but only 3 finish, and you take third, even though you were not one of the fastest cars on the grid, you celebrate like you took third, because that's what happened. You took third. Whereas the rest of us, we're going to go, well, did we really beat the other 17 cars, or did they just have bad luck, right? We do this in football. We do this all the time. We go, is Boise State really that good, or did they just not play an SEC schedule? That matters to us. In Europe, wouldn't matter so much, but they also have ways in which they can relegate bad teams and elevate good teams, and we don't. That's why the Premier League is such a cash cow, and why people want to watch it is the illusion that anybody can make it. Now, you're going to have your dominant teams, like even Manchester United, who's bad, like real bad. People want to see them play in a way that they don't want to see, say, Wrexham. Right? Wrexham's a great story. Wrexham's got some star owners, but we don't expect Wrexham to play Premier League football anytime soon. And when they do, are they going to be any good? Well, if someone from the UAE or KSA decides to invest in them, maybe, like Manchester City, for instance, which was nobody until like 2010. And then all of a sudden, we got to talk about City being one of the best teams to ever step foot on a soccer field. It's not going to happen in our sport. It's not how it goes. And we don't like it. Right? Even right now, we're talking about salary caps and stuff because we don't want to see it get rampant, even though Major League Baseball hasn't had a salary cap. And quiet as it is kept, the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers just bought the Los Angeles Lakers, and nobody's going to think that anything untoward is going to go on there, right? He's got Shohei Ohtani. The man paid $1 billion to one player and $1 billion to 2 players this year alone, period. $700 million, $300 million. And that's not the rest of the roster, which is also basically the 1929 Yankees all over again. The point here is the commissioners got to figure out how to get to 16 teams because, A, you're going to make more money, and B, we want it. We want it. We're already at 12. I don't think we're going to see a retraction in games because I don't think people want to make less money. But they also know that the next 6 years are going to be very important as everybody is getting on the good foot with name, image, likeness, with revenue sharing. Nobody wants to be disadvantaged, and the SEC would not like to go back to being the 90s SEC, even though Florida was pretty good, Tennessee was pretty good. You might say Nebraska was running things. The Big Ten, it's going to be fine. I think it needs to tell us what it wants, but it's going to be fine. It's the rest of college football that is waiting with bated breath to know what is our postseason going to look like and how are we going to crown a champion.